American women will never understand about Italy. Italy is a matriarchy.
Women in Italy didn't get the right to vote until 1945. Women in Italy didn't have a constitutional right to equal rights until 1948. It was illegal for Italian women to work in law and as judges until 1963. They couldn't enter the police force until 1981 and couldn't join the army until 1993. Divorce was illegal in Italy until 1970. Up until the 1970s in Italy, it was not only common practice but was expected for girls and women to marry their ists. It wasn't until 1981 that the law exonerating the ist who marries his victims was removed. A husband was legally dominant over their wives until 1975. The wife had no legal right to decisions for the household, no legal right to decide where they would live, any right to financial decisions, not even legal authority over their children and how they were raised until 1975. Being your wife was legal in Italy until 1976. Abortion was only legalized in Italy in 1978, and it is completely legal for medical practitioners to refuse abortion care today. In Italy, men convicted of honor unaliving were given a milder sentence until 1981, and this was also widely considered socially acceptable to do and was sometimes even encouraged. Was not a felony in Italy until 1996. In Italy, it only became illegal to fire a pregnant person in 2001. There was no legal ability to remove a domestic abuser from the house in Italy until 2001. Being a woman in Italy while the woman is wearing jeans was decided by the Supreme Court to be automatically categorized as consensual until 2008. Stalking wasn't a criminal act in Italy until 2009. In 2020, 85.3% of all women unalived in Italy were done so by a family member or intimate partner. Children in Italy were required by law to have their father's last name until April 2022. Women in Italy earn 20 to 24% less than men for the same job. In Italy, 70% of those that left the workforce in the first year of the pandemic were women. In December 2022 alone, that number was 98%. In all of the EU countries, Italy is in the bottom half of rankings when it comes to gender-based education inequality, domestic labor and time inequality, and financial and economic inequality. Italy is in the bottom half of the rankings when it comes to the EU's Gender Equality Index, and the worst for any major EU economy. In 2023, over half of all women unalived in Italy are done so by current or former intimate partners. To claim that Italy isn't a patriarchy only a couple months after one of the most widely publicized femicides in Italy is exactly the sort of thing that I would expect from a man who grew up under a patriarchy. You don't get to set the bar.